I don't live in a major city. I don't live anywhere near a major city. New York, Boston, those are at least 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours away. And so 99% of the time, whenever something major event was happening, I'd usually have to gather money for travel. When I couldn't afford to do that, I'd have to stay home. Isn't that great? But there was one movie that I wildly wanted to see back in 2009. Now, again, this was around the same time. There was another movie out that had just come out on DVD called Clerks II. It came out on DVD in 2007. I actually really liked Clerks II. It was probably one of my favorite movies of that year, of 2006 when it came out. I actually was one of the first people to actually see the final cut of the film. I saw it at Vulgarthon 2006, about a couple weeks before the movie actually came out. Kevin Smith actually physically presented it. But I still, even though I had seen it with Kevin Smith's show, I still wanted to give Kevin, because I liked the movie so much, I still wanted to give Kevin my money. And I bought a ticket to go see the movie, and I went to go see the movie again when it finally did come to theaters a few weeks later. Then, obviously, when the DVD came out, this was before Blu-ray. This was just before Blu-ray and HD DVD were a thing. I picked up the DVD. And just as I started up the DVD for the first time, some trailers started basically showing up. And I usually click through the previews, but these previews to me looked like it caught my attention. For anybody that has the original DVD of Clerks 2, there was a movie attached, or there was a trailer for a movie attached to it, involving a bunch of kids dressed up as stormtroopers and Darth Vader. And as you watch the trailer, you realize that the movie takes place in 1999, just before the release of Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. And these Star Wars fans want to go see... Basically, they want to break into George Lucas's ranch and steal the film to see it early. That was charming to me. I don't know. There's something about the premise. Maybe because I remember what it was like to be a Star Wars fan at that time. The movie, of course, is called Fanboys. Nowadays, it's probably on a couple of services. Obviously, the movie's long since been released, so of course now you can go see it if you wish to through your preferred streaming service of preference. But you're probably saying to yourself, wait a second, that trailer was included on a 2007 printed DVD. Fanboys, looking up on the IMDb, didn't come out until 2009. What would have made a movie like Fanboys take 2 extra years to get released? Doesn't a comedy like that usually take, like, I don't know, just a few months to a year to actually do post-production? You'd be right. Fanboys was delayed. Probably due to executive meddling. I'm not totally certain about why it was so delayed, but it was delayed. Basically, there was a whole argument involving, and again, I'm just repeating what was written down on the internet. I don't have firsthand knowledge of this. I have nothing to do with the release of the film, and I'll talk about that later. But apparently Harvey Weinstein, yes, that one, we won't talk further about that, who was producing the film, got into a disagreement either over the crew or there was a disagreement over whether or not the reason why these young people were breaking into Skywalker Ranch. Apparently he disagreed with that. Now, the reason why the young people were motivated to steal Episode 1 was because they had a friend with terminal cancer. And it was made clear that he maybe had just a few months to live at most. Even with the best, medical at the time, there was no way he was going to live long enough to see Episode 1. And to those friends, that was a shame. Harvey Weinstein apparently did not agree with this. Harvey Weinstein, again, there is probably a cut of the movie. It was never released, obviously, not even in bootlegs. Although alternate scenes were included on the DVD in the later Blu-ray release. Of basically just saying that the one night they all decide to get drunk and they basically all just decide to go and do it, and then their friend is not dying. basically to remove all references to the dying friend, which kind of means these guys are thieves as opposed to moral crusaders. That kind of just, I think I heard one person say that they're drunk, like they watched an abridged cut of the film and they kind of said, no, these guys are just coming off as like bumbling drunks or something, under these circumstances, at least to the audience. I like the moral crusader bit. And I could get behind that as an audience member. And so for 2 years, there were shoots and reshoots and stuff like that. Basically to try to bring it in the cut, take it out, just to find a cut that the director, the producers all agreed on. So by around 2009, I think a lot of people just didn't know what the final cut was going to be. But you could be darn certain I was going to see it. The problem is that the movie did not get a major release. By this point, there was no intention to do a major release for the film. I think they basically listed 5 cities in the entire country of the United States that would be showing this film. New York was being one of them. Los Angeles, I think, was another one. I couldn't tell you where the other ones were. Usually it's the same 5 that every other movie that does five cities. I mean, why do you think it's going to be 5 cities? I mean, for God's sakes, we have streaming capabilities. Most very old theaters these days have projection systems that can handle streaming broadcasts live. At least one theater can do that. Even back then, that this was like odd, unusual that you would actually restrict or force people to travel to go see a movie. So I was definitely going to go see this movie. So I had decided I couldn't go see the premiere of the film, obviously, because that would have been like a Friday night and I'd have to go to New York for the day or something. So I decided I was going to take a friend of mine for a Saturday morning matinee to go see the film. Now, I told you that whole story, and I'll just cut to it. My friend and I did, in fact, go to see the movie. And obviously, the final cut we saw is the final cut that you'd see on, like, the DVD. It was unaltered from there. And I thought the film was great. I was happy that they kept in what they kept in. So I'm watching the whole movie. I'm laughing. My friends laughing. We're enjoying the movie. Under no circumstances the whole time do I realize where I'm sitting. I didn't realize until the movie was over. I looked over to the side of me. I mean, my friend was on one side of me. And to the right of me was a familiar face. The guy, and I'm not kidding about this, who played the Lieutenant Commander Data cosplayer in the film. The actual actor who played the Lieutenant Commander Data cosplayer, was literally sitting right next to me in the movie theater that morning. So I turn to him and I say, "Were you?" And he looks at me and he says, "I assumed you were. I assumed you were in this film too." And I realized what I had stumbled upon. Because the movie had been so heavily restricted into how many theaters were actually showing it, the people that had actually worked on the film had to huddle together into all these urban centers, basically, just to see the film they had worked on. I had stumbled upon a cast screening of Fanboys. I was told Dan Fogler was in attendance, although he was incognito. I didn't see him, but then again, he was in disguise, they said. I am not kidding. So the Commander Data guy, I'm so sorry, I forgot the guy's name. You could probably look it up on the crew, because nice guy, like I said. He looks at me like, "Wait, you're here to actually see this film? You didn't work on it? You're a person interested in seeing the film?" I said, "Yeah, I've been wanting to see this movie ever since 2007 when the Clerks II DVD came out. I can't believe it took this long to get it in the theater, and I can't believe I had to go all this way to New York to go see it, but here I am." And the guy said to me, "We've been waiting too. We've been waiting a long time for this moment, but here it is, right? Thank you for coming to see the film." Like they were appreciative that I was there. I later emailed. There was an independent theater in a adjacent city, And I said to, I actually emailed the producers of the film and I said, why don't you bring it to that theater? And they later did, but I think I think they canceled the showing that I went to go see. I actually got a whole bunch of friends together to go see a second screening of the film. And, you know, when they finally, a couple weeks later, they brought it to a adjacent theater. And unfortunately, the theater, for no reason, canceled the showing that we were all planning on going. But they kept a later showing, so fewer people obviously went to go see it. I have no idea why they did that. But I ended up seeing it twice in theaters. And, of course, when the DVD came out, I picked that up. And, of course, when the Blu-ray came out, obviously I'll have those for forever now. So I have some more stories that I could tell, but I thought those are my two favorites. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to hear more stories about me from the theaters, uh, if you have your own stories, just write them below. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Until next time, guys.